Hello and welcome to Never Seen It. It's a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. I'm one of your hosts, Betsy, and with me is my co-host, Trent.
I like podcasts.
You do? Well,
I'm on one.
You're in luck because this is what this is.
Yeah.
Today we are watching another random movie. We have selected from 2010. It's The Fighter.
The Fighter.
So, The Fighter was nominated for Best Picture of the Year. I think this might have been the last year that I didn't watch every single Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
Or it was the first year I did. I'd have to go and check.
Yeah.
But I have seen this movie. You, Trent, have not.
I have not.
Any particular reason? Because this came out pretty soon before we got together, and I've been trying to get you to watch this one for a while.
Yeah, we got together in 2011, so it definitely came out before we were really watching a lot of movies together. And of course, this is back when I was working a lot of overtime back in like 08, 09, 2010. I had no time to really go out to movies at all, and I wasn't really into a lot of movies. Like, I wasn't paying attention to Oscar stuff. I would watch the Oscars every year, but then I would wait until after the Oscars ceremony was over before I really started to look into movies that I might like.
To invest your time.
Yeah.
You wait until the opinion has been fully formed. Everybody has said, this is the consensus.
This is the judgment I'm going to base my interest based on what other people think. But for this particular movie, I don't really know anything about it. I know it's about boxers, and it's starring Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. And it's not like this subject matter doesn't interest me at all. I have seen boxing movies before. I've seen, $1 Million Baby. Half the movie is about boxing. The other half is definitely not.
It is not.
Definitely not. But of course, that movie was introduced to me because it won Best Picture.
Right.
And I wouldn't have watched it otherwise.
And this one did not win Best Picture.
No.
But it did win some Academy Awards. Are you aware of what it won?
No. Did Christian Bale win?
Yes. So this is the movie that Christian Bale
Okay.
won his Oscar for.
Okay,
He's been nominated a number of times, but this was his first nomination and win.
I always thought he won for that movie where he got all super skinny.
Oh, The Machinist? No,
Yeah.
he didn't even get nominated for that.
Wow.
Yeah, he did also get super skinny for this movie, too. He's not as skinny as he is in The Machinist.
This
that
is his skinny period.
Yeah, and this is where he kind of went yo-yoing, because he did The Machinist, then he did Batman. And think of the time here. This is 2010.
Yeah.
He was making The Dark Knight around this time as well. So he was like yo-yoing back and forth between skinny, big, skinny, and big.
It's not good for your body.
No, he's a method actor, but sometimes it's really intense. So I'm hoping now he's leveled out and he's done taking those roles that require him to pack it on. Because he's a thin guy naturally.
Sure.
He's not like stick thin, but he is skinnier in this movie as well.
And like the movies that I identify that he is at his heaviest is Vice. Where he's also wearing a bodysuit, but it helps to fill out your face.
He actually gained weight for that role, though.
Also in American Hustle.
Which is another David O. Russell movie, which I don't think I've touched on yet. This is The Fighter is a David O. Russell movie.
Yeah.
And we have seen many of his movies now.
This is before he started putting Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper in all of his movies.
He does have one other person that he has used a few times.
Who's that?
In this movie. And it's Amy Adams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is another one where she was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Listen, I don't know if I've gone on this tangent yet.
I don't think so.
But Amy Adams has been nominated for an Academy Award 6 times. 6. She is an incredible actress, and I don't think people talk about her enough.
She's approaching the Glenn Close territory.
Seriously,
where,
Glenn
goddammit, give her an Oscar.
Has been nominated 7 times in, 30 years. Amy Adams has been nominated 6 times in about 20. Less than.
Yeah.
Just consider that for a minute. And
She'll
she ain't
get
got
hers.
one.
She'll get hers.
Also, it is a travesty that she didn't get nominated for Enchanted. There, I said it. There, I said it.
Yes.
I probably said it when we watched Enchanted.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. How many Amy Adams movies have we covered? I think that's the only one.
Not too many, but that is one. We haven't covered it for the show, but Arrival. She didn't get nominated for Arrival,
Right.
which again is kind of a major oversight.
I would say the movie itself is deserving of a nomination. Her, maybe not as much.
Oh, you're going to fight with people on the internet if you go down that road.
I don't think Amy Adams was that great in that movie. She's fine. She's fine.
Oh,
but as an
shock and
actress,
awe.
nah. Then again, I've only seen Arrival once. I might see it again and change my mind.
Okay, fine then. But yeah, there is a very packed cast, a lot of acting nominations in this movie. It got nominated for Best Picture. It's got a lot of things going for it that put it on our list today so that you can see this movie.
Yeah.
So we're going to go do that. We are going to go watch The Fighter, and we will be right back. And we're back. Okay, Trent, so this is 2010 Best Picture nominee, The Fighter. What are your thoughts?
You know, it wasn't bad. I didn't get the emotion that I think that the movie was trying to get out of me. But overall, I think the two actors in question here, are doing a really good job at portraying these people.
Yeah, because this is based on a true story.
And I had no idea this was a true story.
I kind of forgot that. I haven't watched this in a while.
Yeah. I can see why Christian Bale got nominated here. I mean, I don't know who else was nominated that year. I don't know. I don't know if that's really deserving of a win. I think he did a good job overall. So, you know, I don't really have any problems with the movie. It's just, I don't think it was effective on me as what it might have been on other people.
So we talked about it at the beginning. This is in 2010, so I think this was either the first or the second year that they expanded the category to having 10 nominations instead of just, or up to 10, excuse me, instead of just 5. So that always leaves a much broader grouping of movies. Maybe in another year this wouldn't have been nominated. I think this is a nice movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I like this movie. It doesn't make me cry. This is not a I'm crying kind of movie. It's more of a guy trying to come to terms with how does he live his own life and find balance with his, for lack of a better word, crazy family and all the other people trying to help him
I think
without them.
The most effective thing was his, like, kind of impotent way of dealing with his family. He doesn't want to be mean to them. He doesn't want to tell them off. He doesn't want to push them away because they're his family. That's really all he's got, but he's just struggling with that so much, and I think it really comes across. Again, that was the most effective part of this movie.
Yeah, weirdly,
and the thing that I related to the most.
Weirdly, the performances that everybody really talked about in this movie are Amy Adams, because she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
Christian Bale got nominated and won for Best Supporting Actor. And Melissa Leo, who plays the mom, got nominated and won for Best Supporting Actress.
No shit, okay.
Yeah. So those are the ones that are the big, loud, powerhouse performances. But I think you're right. Upon rewatching this movie, I was really drawn in at moments with Mark Wahlberg. Like, okay, Mark Wahlberg, formerly Marky Mark from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I think a lot of people give him a really bad rap about how, well, he's not a very good actor. Okay, he is not a great actor.
He can be,
but he can
a very
act.
Bad actor. But he can act. I have seen him in plenty of movies where he is great.
Yes, and I think in this one he's at least doing something. Like there are a lot of moments he's Mark Wahlberg, the guy from Boston, because he's going to fit in very well in this town at this time because he was there too. He understands this character. He understands being from a small part of Boston where everybody knows everybody.
With a big family who's
huge
very
family,
close.
loud and crazy.
Yeah.
And they're all just trying to help him succeed and get to a place where none of them have gotten. This is all very reminiscent of Mark Wahlberg. But he is also playing against Christian Bale, who is just a powerhouse of an actor, and he is like squirrely and crazy in this movie. And there are moments where he's really capturing that whole, I just want to be like my big brother, and he's very like sensitive and childlike. Like the very last scene where the two of them are sitting on the couch, he's kind of like compacted into his own body, like looking down and shy, and he's very like little brother. I bought it. Like
big brother is really, you know, hyping me up. Like I'm what he wanted to be. I'm his hero now.
Yeah, and it's the pride that big brothers have or little brothers have.
And I just a little bit about that scene. I read a little bit about that. That was done in the middle of the night in a basement somewhere with just those two actors and the director. That's it. That's all the people in that room, and that was completely off the cuff. It was not scripted.
They were just like, what would you say? What would your characters say?
Yes.
And yeah, that's
and Christian Bale getting emotional there, that was a real thing.
It's a really nice way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Mark Wahlberg didn't get enough praise for doing something. And do I think it's an Academy Award worthy performance? No. But I do think that he's doing a lot more here than he has been known to do in some movies.
He is committing to this character. He's committing to doing the work.
Yes.
Now, it's not that big of a stretch for the dude who used to be an underwear model to be all big and buff and strong.
He's very fit.
And whatever. That's fine. Good on you for putting the work in, actually getting in the ring and doing that shit. He learned all that.
Yes, he learned boxing and he trained, and it's a different kind of training. Like he is definitely a fit guy who gets up at like 4 a.m. every single day and works out.
Yeah.
So that part of it,
it's not a stretch. But you know, him doing it on screen and doing it and learning the moves and being in the ring, and that's impressive. I praise him for that, if nothing else.
And then, of course, you got Christian Bale. So I also don't remember who he was up against this year.
Yeah.
But I do think he was worthy of winning. And if not for this, I think some people have won for the wrong movie many times. I think this is something we have touched on.
Yeah.
Many actors have won Academy Awards when there was somebody else that you thought should have won more. Do I think that here? Well, I don't even remember who he was nominated against. But I do think that Christian Bale is a really, really incredible actor who is very committed to his craft.
And I'm not saying anything against him as an actor. He is incredible in most everything that he's ever done. And he's just one of these very rare method actors who has the ability to really, really get into his characters. And again, for this particular movie, I didn't get attached to the character in a lot of different ways. I think what the director is trying to do here is get me to, well, number one, hate him because, or at least be resentful of him.
I think you're definitely supposed to resent him.
Yeah, because he is this hotshot who wants to be a hotshot.
He used to be a hotshot, and he still thinks himself a hotshot.
He thinks he's still a hotshot because he thinks HBO is coming around to film his comeback story.
Well,
he has the entire. Let me keep going. He's got the entire neighborhood egging him on in whatever he is trying to do, whether it be with his family, with his brother, with this comeback that is never going to happen, whatever. Dude is a crackhead.
Yes.
He has turned into a crack addict, and he is not getting any kind of help from anybody because he's on this pedestal. He's been put on this pedestal
pride of Lowell
by the entire fucking town, the police included. The police know exactly where he is, what he's doing, but they're not helping him. No. Because if they do that, then the entire town would come down on them.
Yeah, and his mom is a total enabler.
Oh, we'll get to her.
We'll get to her. She is a piece of work, which we will talk about. But yeah, he has been telling everybody this, and I forgot that that's where it was. That it's a documentary about crack addiction and a very real world scenario. So the first part, he's like, oh, it's about my comeback. It's about my comeback, which he already knows at this point that it's about crack. Either he has forgotten or he is just so blinded by his own nonsense.
Why else would HBO cameras be following me around?
Yeah.
I'm only famous for being a boxer, so why not that?
And yeah, you're watching...
And the fact that they're asking me about crack is just, okay, that's part of my life, you know?
Yeah, and you're watching this unfold, and I hadn't seen this in quite a few years, and I totally forgot that that's what that was. So I'm hearing him say, oh yeah, it's my comeback, and I'm like, he's not training, he has nothing in store, why would these cameras be here? And then about, halfway through the movie, he finally says, oh yeah, what are you filming this about again? And the guy says, I've told you, it's about crack addiction in America.
Right.
And it's like...
And that's where the audience finds out too.
Oh, yeah, this makes a lot more sense. And we've already seen him smoking something before that.
Right.
But this is where we realize that...
That's why the cameras are there.
The cameras are there because we are fully documenting the downfall of a guy who... has spent the whole movie talking about how he knocked out Sugar Ray Leonard, which is up for some argument, up for some debate in his community. Right. But that's his claim to fame.
And how dare you?
And how dare you
question whether or not you did that? Because, Betsy, you and I are from small towns. And if there's any kind of national attention about a person from here, about an event that happens here, or anything, if we get the lick of attention, we grasp onto that. We never want to let it go.
No.
And Lowell, Mass.
We have little moments.
And Lowell, Mass. is a very small, poor suburb of Boston. So I get it. That whole thing about this guy comes from here, that's huge. And you will be that local celebrity walking down the street forever, as long as you can continue to live there.
Everybody in that town, every time he walked down the street, was like, oh, hey, Dickie,
right.
hey, hello.
Right. And he's one of these very high energy crackheads who is, high-fiving everybody, but then he's still going to go down and score.
So yeah, you've got those two guys, and then of course, just because we're on the topic, so at the end of the movie, there's actually real footage of the two brothers.
Yeah.
So you kind of get the
Mickey
real
is
world
the one,
examples.
Mickey is definitely the one who is more reserved. I'm just going to sit here next to my brother, half-brother. They don't really talk that much about it.
They kind of
explain
explain
it,
but
never refer
it's...
to it as half-brother, but at the bar, they're talking about, oh yeah, this is this guy's father.
I'm an Eklund, they're an Eklund, this one's a Ward. Yeah, they're all explaining the layout of the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, they show the two of them together, and just based on that, I think Christian Bale definitely studied this man.
He did, yeah.
And got a lot of his mannerisms and at least his energy down.
Yes.
I didn't know this actor, I didn't know this fighter.
Yeah.
I didn't know this boxer. I didn't know anything about him before I saw this movie, and I still don't know anything about him.
No.
So, if he's doing a good job, I couldn't tell you. I just think he's pretty captivating the whole movie.
Just based on that one little scene of them wherever they are, you can see one of them is more quiet and reserved, which kind of comes with being a member of a very large family.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Betsy.
Shut up.
You would be the Dickie in this scenario.
I would absolutely be the Dickie in this scenario.
Because when Betsy is around her large family...
Shut up, Trent.
She gets louder.
Shut up, Trent.
And it's a natural thing because when you are especially a middle child, you have to try to raise your level of attention in order to be noticed or listened to.
And they do a really good example here of demonstrating how there's Dickie, there's his 7 sisters, and then there's Mickey. Fuck. And those bitches be crazy.
Oh my God.
Every last one of those sisters. I don't know what they do for a living. They're always at their mom and dad's house. They are never shown doing anything of importance.
Yeah.
But they have no problem being like, oh, it's that Charlene. She's an MTV girl. She's wild. She's a tramp. She's a skank.
And they all gang up on her.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck are you guys?
Drive to her house and start a fight, and then they act surprised
What
when
do you expect?
When she fights back and punches one of them in the face.
Get off my fucking porch and get out of my life.
Listen.
Oh my God.
Shut your damn mouth or I'm gonna cut that ratty hair off of your head. I was like, what?
Yeah. So as long as we're talking about her.
So yeah, Amy Adams as Charlene, the bartender, who Mickey meets up with and decides he'd like to go out on a date with. And she is just, a firecracker.
Sure. And you know what?
She doesn't put up with anyone's shit.
If you're a bartender in Boston, you have to be a firecracker.
Oh, yeah. And she hates her job and she doesn't date the customers if she can help it.
Sure.
But, Mickey being this kind of sweet little guy.
Yeah, and we get a little bit of her backstory.
Over.
She's a college dropout, and she dropped out because
she was a high jumper.
She partied too much. She got into college on scholarship because she was in athletics. And for her, what I imagine is that she might have been one of these, first kids of the family to go to college, and you get a scholarship, and it's a big deal, and you might have some hopes and dreams from your family on you. But then again, you get away from your family for the first time. What do you want to do? You don't want to go to class. You don't want to go to school.
Hell no.
You want to go party.
Yep.
So I can understand her perspective. I mean, I didn't do that, but I know people who did, and they just burnt out. And it sucks. And you end up in a job that you don't necessarily want to do, but you got to survive, you got to make money, and you might as well do the thing that you know. Hanging out in bars all the time, and if you know how to deal with drunks, it's a good living.
Yes. And this movie is nothing if not working class. Like, Boston is the most working class city you are probably going to find in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And this little suburb is absolutely working class. And all of these people who live there and work there, all these characters in this movie. And they're all just trying to get that leg up. So mom's on the phone, like, trying to book fights for her son because she could do it for one, her oldest son. Yeah. And now she's trying to recreate that magic. But since we're on the topic, let's talk about Mom.
Yeah.
So Alice. Mom is Alice. She is another one who is just intense in a way that makes people really uncomfortable. Like, she does not even acknowledge Charlene when she's in the room. She's like, who is this bitch? And why is she in my house?
Right.
And I'm not talking to her.
I'm with her.
Yes. She has spent her whole life babying and worshiping Dickie. I assume he's the firstborn. They don't actually say this.
Yeah, but he's the oldest boy at the very least, because there's only two boys.
Yeah, it's the oldest boy and the youngest boy, and girls all in between, as I understand it.
God.
And yeah, she is an absolute enabler, and she knows exactly what her son is up to.
And she knows what buttons to push on both of her sons and her daughters in order to get them to do what she wants.
Yes. If they are not doing what she wants, she will be like, why would you do this to me, to your family? Right. I'm your mother.
You immediately throw it back in their face. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
She's, very manipulative, very pushy. And it's the thing where I understand completely Mickey's conflict, because it is coming from a place where I love you, I'm your mother, I want to help you.
Why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to the family? But it's not that.
Like, it's genuinely coming from a place of I want you to be successful because I'm not successful.
Yeah.
She's just real bad at portraying, like, displaying it to her son.
Right. And, like, I don't necessarily know what she's even good at, if anything, because all she seems to really be good at is popping out kids. Yes. And again, I'm not trying to be judgy here, but I am an only child. Betsy is one of 6.
Yeah.
So I don't have that perspective. I will never have that perspective. I married into Betsy's family. I have no ill will towards them or her parents whatsoever. But good God, how the fuck can you handle that many children? And in this case, adult children living with you at all times.
It's also a generational thing. So the movie takes place in 1993. So these kids were all born in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And before in some cases, I think. And that is very much a generational thing, too. People could afford to have a lot more kids.
You're right.
Back in those days. My family is an anomaly,
Right.
to say the least.
Right.
But you know what? We all survived to adulthood, so we got that going for us.
Yes.
We are also not crazy the way these people are crazy.
Yes.
Like, these women are all just, like, chain smoking and drinking and fighting
What
with
the
everybody.
hell are they doing, though? Like, later on in the movie, where she's trying to get the next fight, like, they're just kind of hanging out, and they're just backing up whatever the mom says.
Yeah, they're just like carbon copies.
They're listening to what's happening in the background, say, oh, yeah, you got to get Mickey a new fight. Okay.
Or if mom doesn't know what's going on, they're feeding. It's just a loop. They're feeding into each other.
Yeah.
Like, mom's like, who is Charlene? Who is that? And they're like, oh, she's a tramp at the
I
bar.
heard she was an MTV skank.
Yeah.
What?
What does that even mean?
But of course, you know, in the 90s, MTV was the dirty thing. Like, that's what the young people are on. That'll rot your brain. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the fact that they're just like, oh, he can't possibly date this girl. She is poisoning his mind.
Yeah.
That's why he's getting away from the family. Or maybe you all have a fucking hive mind mentality because you're all together far too much.
Yeah.
Every time I see your sisters, they're all in a group.
Well, and
they
that's
travel in a pack, including, fun fact, one of those is Conan O'Brien's real life sister. Just heads up.
Yes. They talked about when Dickie fought the big fight. That was in 1979. This is 15 years later. What have they been doing since then? I'm having a really hard time filling in that gap. Like, was Dickie just trying to get back into the ring, and training up his brother at the same time? What have they been doing for money all this time?
I mean, they show them a little bit. So, like, they're fixing a road, they're fixing a roof. They do kind of, like, odd jobs, it seems like. I don't think they have a company of their own or anything.
Dad does.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They all just work for Dad.
I mean,
but they don't show it much, so it's a little misleading in this movie, because I would just as easily believe those women do not have jobs.
Right, and you know, they don't live like, you know, high on the hog or anything. Mickey lives in a shit apartment, and Dickie lives in a crack house for the most part. You know, they don't really need a whole lot of money here, but it's a lot of mouths to feed, and maybe that was the thing that was taking me out of it. Like, I get that this family is very close and maybe you want to be together all the time, and that's cool. Good on you. I just don't see how this family can survive with what they're doing.
Well, and that's why Mickey clearly is the one who's the exception. He lives alone.
Seems like, Mickey is away from the family for the most part, which, again, I don't know how a dude his age is going to live with his however many sisters and mother in the same house. That will not fly.
Well, and they never explicitly say they all live in that house, but they're just there all the time, and that's bad enough.
Yeah.
And it's just setting up again. He wants to be his own person.
Yeah.
Whether he knows it or not, he wants to be away from this family. He wants to do this on his own, in his own way.
Yeah.
The whole movie is the conflict between his family, who has basically been leading him down this path of failure. But they're like, no, we'll help you. We'll fix it. We'll make it better. And they can't.
And just to get to the next payday.
Yep.
Whether you win or not, it doesn't matter. Well, he kind of wants to win. He doesn't want to just go up there and getting his ass kicked, which he does. And his career would be cut short much, much faster if he continues to do that. And then guess what? No more money.
Yep. And then you've got the other contingent that says, this guy's a real businessman. This guy is going to train you. We're going to get you real fights. And we're going to do this on the condition that your family stays the fuck out of it.
Right. I can see that you've got talent. I have this plan for you. You're getting put into the wrong fights. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, they show him early on in the movie. He has his first fight that they show on the screen. The other fighter gets the flu. Yeah. And at the last minute, the doctor says, well, he can't fight, he has the flu. So they replace him with the only guy they can get. Yeah. But of course, boxing is a fairly stringent sort of sport where if you are from this pound to this pound in weight, you are in this class.
Yeah, weight classes make huge differences.
And he's been training to fight one guy at a lower class, and they replace him with a dude who weighs 20 pounds more than him, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 20 pounds of muscle. That's not just 20 pounds. That's 20 pounds of muscle.
Right.
And they all buy the bullshit.
Yeah, they're using all this information about, oh, yeah, he just got out of prison, and he's just been sitting on the couch, and they just pulled him out of his living room in order to do this fight. Bullshit. He's been in the gym training.
Yeah, they show what Dickie is doing when he's in prison in this movie.
Right.
What's he doing? He is first getting sober, and then he is training the whole time he's in there.
Right.
They show him running laps and doing sit-ups and crap like that.
Yeah.
He is getting in shape. That's what you do in prison, because you got nothing else to do.
Right. And speaking of getting in shape, later on in the movie, after the big falling out, Mickey is having a hard time. He's not training anymore. He's gaining weight. He's just kind of getting out of shape. And if there's a problem I have with that portion of the movie is that, okay, you're showing Mickey having a beer gut and not really taking care of himself. That does not maintain. In the sections where it's before he's training again, that gut doesn't stay. And I don't know if it's just you only had the thing for the one shot, but he just looks like Mark Wahlberg at every other moment before he starts training again.
It's also the 90s, which means he's wearing very oversized clothing.
Still.
The whole movie.
Still, you would be able to tell.
I wasn't paying that much. I didn't notice that. I think that's just a you problem, because I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah. And I understand that this movie was kind of made on not a tight budget, but like the two main actors didn't make a lot of money. Mark Wahlberg did not take a paycheck from this movie.
He produced this movie, along with Darren Aronofsky, which I missed completely until this.
Yeah, and Christian Bale only took like $250,000 as his acting fee.
Sometimes people are willing to take basically no money to do the movie because it's a really good script, and they would rather be in the movie and help it succeed than not be in it, and because they are too expensive.
I'm not asking for a huge thing, but that is a fairly minor thing to me. Like, okay, he's still kind of big, so why don't you continue that on? And they're even pointing it out, like when he goes into the restaurant after the HBO documentary shows, everybody's looking at him, and he is wearing a bigger thing, and they're pointing him out, hey, fatso, or whatever he's saying.
Okay, well, I didn't notice it, so that didn't really bother me.
I'm not trying to harp on that. It's just one thing I noticed.
Okay.
But we've kind of covered all the actors here. Let's actually talk about some of the moments we saw here. Yeah. So one thing that, man, there's very little levity in this movie. Like, there's only a few moments where, like, we actually laughed here.
Right. This is it's not that it's a drama in that you're really upset all the time. It's just, there's not a lot of levity.
Yeah, there's just no, again, it's the emotion thing. There's not a lot of emotion that is being drawn out of me in this, and some of the scenes here do accomplish some emotional, I guess, relief. Like one of them where after Charlene goes into the family meeting for the first time, Mark Wahlberg says, you know what, you need to, I'm going to go after this Vegas thing, and because I can get paid year round just to train, and they're going to find a fight that fits me that we can make a lot more money for. And Christian Bale says, you know what? I can get you that. I can get you money year round just to train.
Is that what you want?
I
got
that
it.
What you want?
Anything
I got
for
it.
you, buddy.
It's done. Trust me. And then we get this sequence where he like tries to sell a Ponzi scheme to a family of immigrants.
Yes, a bunch of Cambodians that are like related to his girlfriend or something.
And it's if you didn't know what a Ponzi scheme was,
you wouldn't understand.
You would think that he was just scamming them.
Well, he is scamming.
He is scamming them, of course. But it's just it's a very weird scene. And then he convinces his girlfriend to do, like, I guess maybe she is a prostitute. I don't actually know.
I don't know if she is, or he just convinces her to become one.
Sure.
But she does it.
She does it. She apparently has done it a couple of times just that night.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
They say something about that?
Well, because so the whole deal is they get this guy busted. Christian Bale thinks or poses as a cop.
Yeah,
and
they throw a light in their car.
He puts his brights on, and they say, "Don't turn around, don't look at my face." They get his wallet, go through his wallet, and sees how much it is. Then a real cop shows up with another dude in the back seat, fingering them to say, "Hey, that's them. They did it to me tonight too."
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah, so that's where the big chase happens. And again, I understand that what he's doing is ridiculous, but I don't think this should have been played off as comedy. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
I don't think it was played off as comedy. I think it's just he goes.
I feel like it was.
I didn't think so, but he puts himself in an absurd position.
Yeah.
He goes to an absolute extreme because in his brain, which
this is helping,
mind you, is clouded by copious amounts of drugs.
Yeah.
He thinks this is a good idea.
Yeah.
And when he gets busted...
How do I make money? Well, I've heard from this guy, this is a good way to make money. Or I've got this cockamamie idea of getting my girlfriend to do this. Well, people who go and get prostitutes have cash on them. What's a good way to get cash?
Right.
Rob people. He's in a compromising position.
He is not a rational person, this man. So if it's played off as comedic, it's because he's just making really stupid decisions.
Sure.
And it's the logic of a very stupid, desperate person.
Yeah.
But he, of course, gets busted, and instead of just getting away, he gets caught by the cops and he punches them. So he assaults an officer and they assault him right back. And then his brother gets involved and they break his hand.
Yeah, because he goes after where his family is having dinner, and one of his buddies runs
or just someone
there.
in the street, because everybody knows who he is.
Sure.
They know where his family is, they know where he is, and they just put two and two together.
They run in and they say, hey, Dickie is getting arrested by the cops. They're beating the shit out of him.
Yep.
And the entire family goes out there.
And all they say is, like, Mickey, stay here. Of course, he doesn't, because it's his big brother, and he's got to get involved.
He wants to defend him. And the cops grab him too and hit him. And there's a line in there saying, oh yeah, he's a fighter too. Break his hand.
Yeah. They say, I don't want some, put him in different cars, put him in different cells. I don't want some bullshit self-defense charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, these cops are a-holes.
Yeah.
And they all get arrested and they show them in court. And Mickey basically gets off because he's a good kid.
Sure.
He doesn't get into trouble. They're like, fine, you're released to your own recognizance.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Dickie is no stranger to this setting. They say he has been arrested 27 times.
Yeah.
27. That's a lot of times to be arrested.
And how many times could he have been arrested for other things and the cops just looked the other way?
Right. The whole fact that he's in a crack house right now, the only reason they're letting it go is because they're doing a documentary about it. And it's something to put Lowell on the map.
I don't know about that.
I think genuinely the cops would have to be involved in order for them to do this documentary. Because they know as well as anybody what is going on in that house, who lives there, what goes on there.
Yeah, the cops
it's not a secret.
Yeah, the cops actually absolutely know what is going on there.
Yes.
And they establish that early on.
And
they don't say anything about the reason why they're doing it is because of the documentary.
That's my assumption, though, because if the cops know, why don't they do something about it? That's all I'm saying.
Betsy, cops do allow a lot of this stuff to happen, especially if they know that they're not hurting anyone.
But themselves.
They keep an eye on it. They absolutely keep an eye on it because they know where it's happening.
Fair enough.
As long as they know what's happening and they're not getting anybody else involved, they're not getting any kids in there, they're going to let it happen because what else can you do? If people do not want to get help, they don't have to. You cannot force them to get help.
But yeah, the point is he's been arrested for at least 27 incidences, and this one is like 2 counts of this and 2 counts of that and 1 count of this and 2 counts of that.
Yep.
And he goes to prison for 8 months. Plus, because when he shows up, he says he's been sober for 8 months.
Right.
But it takes a little while for him to sober up.
Oh, yeah.
And he has no treatment, and he is in isolation, and that is fucked up. Like, they shove him in that cell and they just let him detox.
Severe withdrawals.
Yeah. So he's sweating and writhing and hallucinating.
And the entire, like, cell block is yelling at him because they all know who it is. It's Dickie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just a little note about the timeline here. He says that, he's 8 months sober and Mickey's been training his ass off with these other people. In real life, the timeline here is much different than what is depicted. There is a 7-year gap between the events of 1993 that this starts off with the title fight in real life happened in the year 2000.
Yeah.
So
that's why all these movies always say based on a true story or inspired by real events.
There's a whole lot of truncated stuff here, and usually, like, fighters, they don't go like, okay, you're gonna have a fight. 6 weeks later, you're gonna have another fight. No, big professional fighters wait months and months between actual fights.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because when he has his title fight, it has their stats on the screen. And it's like 20 Mickey, wins and 7 losses.
Yeah, and Mickey is 31, is what they say here.
Yep,
in the
31
movie.
Years old. So he's like 20 fights and 7 losses. So that's 27, let's call it.
Sure.
Because real fighters don't actually fight that much, as you said.
No.
Because it is such an up and down thing where, depending on who you're fighting, dictates how you train.
Yes.
And you have to train for so many weeks or months to get into the right shape for that fight.
Yeah.
That's why they yo-yo so much. They're very, 140 pounds, 155, 170, 200. Yeah. These guys wreak absolute havoc on their bodies.
Yeah.
And then they get hit in the head a lot.
Right.
They do it to themselves and then they get in the ring. It is an intense sport.
And the recovery time is really intense too.
Yes, because they can't just stop. They have to wean themselves off or build themselves up in between. Like, he comes out of all of these fights bleeding and his face is cut open.
Well, and another thing, like when they have their family meeting with Charlene, his face is all healed up. Like, he got really fucked up in that first fight that we see, and he would not have recovered that quickly.
In 3 or 4 or whatever weeks.
If it was even that.
Well, they said something about nobody's seen him in 3 weeks, so I would call it's been about a month.
Okay.
So he would probably be fairly healed up. Right. But you're right, he probably should have still had something and not been completely healed. But again, I didn't notice it, so...
Yeah.
But boxing inherently is not a sport that I am invested in. It is a brutal sport. I don't particularly find the appeal of watching two guys hit the shit out of each other. No. But I also don't really understand the rules, because there's actually a point system.
Yeah.
Like, if you hit them here, you get points. If you hit them here, you get other points.
Yeah. If you don't let them hit you, then they don't get points.
There's strategy to it, but it's just pugilism to those of us who don't know any better.
Right, and there's also rules about getting knocked down and knocking the other guy down. If you get knocked down so many times in a round, you're done.
Yes.
That's a TKO.
But all that being said, the way they filmed the final fight in this movie, it was exhilarating. Like, watching this guy, he is getting kind of hammered, and then he finally comes back, like his legs give out, because you don't think about how you're just on your feet for God knows how long, tensing all of your muscles.
Yeah, it's not just being on
yourself.
your feet, it's moving around and flexing all that stuff.
Yeah, because how you protect yourself is you flex your whole core. That's how you keep yourself from getting injured if all your muscles are working.
Well, and prevent yourself from being knocked down.
Yeah. And he's holding his core so tight that his legs finally give up and he's about to lose, but he finally, gets some hits in and wins.
The other guy is wore out enough where if you can land some punches, you're going to win.
Yeah. So it's filmed really well. And, you get the little speech, like his brother says, you got to do it. This is your moment. And you're cheering for him and he's the underdog and you're excited by the end of it. But I don't think I could watch that in real life.
No, I have no desire to. I like MMA fights and boxing matches. I've never been into. I don't understand the appeal. Like the closest thing that I watch that I enjoy is the NFL. And the NFL, you're not really trying to hurt each other. At least you shouldn't be.
But people get hurt.
People get hurt very badly. And I think these days, the NFL has gotten to the point where, you know what? Maybe back in the 80s and 90s, people were way into it. Like they want to see somebody hit really hard, and they still do. But that's not something we need to be encouraging.
Right.
But then we have this entire subculture of people who enjoy, like one kick knockouts and like shit like that on MMA fights and boxing matches.
It's not for us.
No.
No, and the common theme that all of these things have is the damage that does to these people.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason they figured that Muhammad Ali was not doing well in his latter years because he got punched in the head a lot.
Of course.
Football players get hit in the head a lot.
Uh-huh.
It's not good for you. So I'm not here to, poo-poo the entire sport because as somebody who doesn't know much about it, I am not one to speak on it. It's certainly not for me. I know there's strategy to it to avoid getting hurt, and you do the best you can, like any sport.
And you get paid well for it. I get it. That's what you're signing up for. I don't judge people who are signing up to do it. What I don't really understand is why somebody wants to watch it.
Well, and like I started this part of this conversation is just doing that to your body, like getting ready for the fight.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to be packing on weight and losing weight. Speaking of Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did. He lost a bunch of weight. He packed it on. He lost it again. And it was somewhere like The Machinist and Batman and this movie and the next Batman, they were all sandwiched together. And that dude, oh my God, he did a lot to his body. And he's not even playing the boxer in this.
Right. He's hardly doing any of that. But again, with a lot of actors who play drug addicts or people who are sick. Like, think about Matthew McConaughey. In the Dallas Buyers Club.
And Jared Leto.
Both of them look unrecognizable.
And Matthew McConaughey is another one who's known for his physique.
Yes.
Like he is a man who likes to work out.
Totally. And the fact that he committed to do it, both of them committed to doing that. And guess what? They both won Oscars for that stuff, for that movie. Go watch it. It's really good.
So I just have one other thing I wanted to bring up about this movie. So obviously these guys are called Dickie and Mickey. Is Mickey short for Mitchard? What is Mickey short for? Like Dickie would be probably Richard, and it was just bothering me.
It's Michael.
I know.
Of course it's Michael. What the hell?
I'm choosing to believe it's Mitchard.
All right.
No, it's just weird that they're both called Mickey and Dickie. I don't know.
Michael and Richard.
That's a weird thing.
Betsy. I don't know if we need to reveal everything here, but Betsy is not your name.
So?
It's not your given name.
Yes, but I'm not called Bicky.
I'm going to start calling you Bicky from now on.
How dare you?
You said it. You said it.
Well, do you have any other thoughts about this movie? Or it's just kind of a mixed bag for you overall?
It's kind of a meh for me. I don't get... The subject matter is very Oscar bait. It's about a crack addict. It's about somebody, pulling themselves up and, doing it because of their family. It should be an inspirational story. I got none of that.
Well, and by the end, he has to find the balance, and his family has to come to terms with that they maybe need to step back a little.
Yeah, and maybe
when
they were part of the problem.
do that, he is able to succeed.
But I didn't get that. I didn't get them admitting that they're the problem. Dickie does. The rest of the family, no. They absolutely do not.
Well, they certainly don't do it on screen. If
Right.
if they had that come to Jesus moment,
Sure.
they don't give it to the audience.
If I needed anything more out of this movie, it would have been more from the family and less of the training sequences. Because there was like 3 of them in this movie.
He's training. He
I
must
get that.
train.
I get that. But just have one. You just need one.
Okay, fine.
Give me more of that family and less of that stuff. And I think it would have been a better movie.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to wrap this one up. We do have an email today from our superfan Stephanie. This one is going all the way back to November when we watched House of Gucci.
Wow.
So speaking of Jared Leto.
Yeah.
So from Stephanie, she says, remember when you watched House of Gucci?
Barely.
Well, I watched this last night on Prime, so this morning I listened to your episode. Jared Leto is damn near unrecognizable and very out of place.
Yeah, you think?
That, like I said in the episode, I'm like, I can't decide if I adore what he's doing or he's insane.
It can be both.
It might be both. The accents are ridiculously inconsistent.
All
They really
over.
are. I don't know. I found the whole movie kind of pointless. I do think Adam Driver and Lady Gaga are very charming, but overall, I don't really think this movie was very good. I think the longer I've sat with it, I agree with that. I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever seen, but it was just all over the place.
Yeah. Tonally, it didn't fit together. It could have been a more serious thing. It could have been more goofy, but in the end, it was just kind of, wow. That's my reaction. Wow.
Just give me more of Lady Gaga and Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Those two together were really good.
Sure.
I don't need anyone else in the supporting cast.
Oh, Jared Leto. Good God.
It was a lot.
It
It's
was
a lot.
It was a lot.
But you know what? Everyone, if you want to watch it, it's on Prime.
Sure.
You make up your own minds.
Yeah, and go listen to the episodes. Like all of our old stuff, like if you happen to see something out there, just go and listen to the episode and
Play the home game.
play the home game. That's the best way to participate here.
Moving on. She says, I cannot believe you suggested Ridley Scott make the movie longer. Jesus, this movie was way too long anyway.
I don't remember it being long, but
We might have to go back and listen to that ourselves because I also don't remember that. But we're also sharing our thoughts in the moment as
Sure.
it stands.
Yeah.
Because when you go back later, we might have a very different opinion about it.
just like I just said about The Fighter, me wanting more from the family, that maybe is a bad idea. I don't know.
Or it's just a question of editing. Like you just wanted more of this and less of that. Or you
Yeah.
just needed more details to flesh out the story.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what we were saying about House of Gucci is we wanted more of this stuff,
Yeah.
less of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
There's some good stuff there.
yeah, not necessarily make it longer, but give me different content to
Give
change the
me-
movie better.
Give me no Jared Leto or all Jared Leto.
Yes, I want House of Leto.
Yes.
That's the movie I am here for.
Yes.
Love you guys. Cannot wait for the next Oscars season from Superfan Stephanie.
We were just talking about the next Oscar
We
season,
are
Betsy.
already at the end of August. We are disturbingly close to when the movies that will be up for the next Academy Awards are starting to be released.
Yeah.
And this is usually about the time of year when you start getting the little whispers, the
Yep.
buzz, the festivals are starting, and we'll see what comes out of them.
And House of Gucci was one of those that we kind of guessed on. Maybe this is getting some buzz, at least in the acting categories. Let's go watch it in the theater. Do the episode for it. Maybe we can knock one out early. That was not the case.
Didn't happen.
No. We were a little bit more lucky when we watched Dune, but Dune was a movie we wanted to watch anyway, regardless of whether it got nominated.
Yes.
And that ended up being like my number 2 of that year.
Who knew?
Yeah.
We watched it because we could, and we both ended up loving it.
Sure. So, I mean, we're not just watching these movies just because we think it's going to be Oscar bait. We want to watch it because we want to watch it. And because House of Gucci did have all these huge actors in it, it worked out.
Is it Oscar bait? Absolutely. But
Sure.
sometimes Oscar bait gets the hook.
And sometimes Oscar bait just turns out to be just that. It's nothing.
Yeah, and that's what happened in that scenario. But we will see. It's going to be sooner than you think that we will probably start shuffling in a couple of these movies that have whispers or are starting to grow buzz to the next Academy Awards.
Betsy and I went through a list of like 50 movies that
it's a long
that
list.
were getting some kind of Oscar buzz. And it's a lot of movies I've never even heard of.
Because it's too early.
It is way too early, but they're all coming out in like 3 months.
Yep.
They all have to come out in the next 4 months.
Yeah.
So
before the end of the year, you must be available somehow.
Yeah. So it's a lot harder for us to cover all that stuff before they're nominated, but at the same time, maybe we have to guess sometimes because it's hard to watch 10 movies after the nominations come out.
And once in a blue moon, a picture gets nominated from like fucking March of this year.
Sure.
And it's so long ago. How would you possibly know that something nominated in March of 2022 is going to be nominated for something in 2023?
That happened when the Grand Budapest Hotel came out.
Yeah.
That movie came out in like fucking February.
Yeah, we saw that in February.
In the theater in February, and it got nominated that year.
For the following March.
Right.
Yeah, it was a really long cycle for that one.
Yeah.
Go figure.
It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen.
Well, we will see. In the coming months, Oscar season will be upon us once again, and we'll have more to say on that when we get to it. But in the meantime, if you would like to share your thoughts about House of Leto, House of Gucci, The Fighter, Mark Wahlberg, and his belly.
and his funky bunch.
And his funky bunch. You too can be like Stephanie and email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, neverseenit_pod. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook, neverseenitpod1. That's the number 1. You can also support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description or simply by sharing our posts on any of those platforms with your friends.
All the socials.
But that's going to be it for this one. We've got a little bit of a series in the works, so stay tuned for that sooner rather than later.
Yep.
In the meantime, this has been Never Seen It. I have been Betsy.
And I'm Trent.
And we will catch you next time.
Bye-bye.